Hello, Quailonians! Hi, everybody out there. It's Sunday evening, 7:30 Eastern, and here I am. My name is Christian, and I'm with Undique. And today I gonna give you a summary of my week and a little outlook what's gonna happen next week, and we talk a little bit about Quail. So thanks for tuning in. If you have watched this stream before, you can maybe skip forward in the replay for a few minutes because in a few minutes I'm going to show you some new products, what we have in our store, maybe you might have not seen before. And if you're new to the channel, I welcome you, and please, you can leave a follow and you can comment down below. I will always answer the questions myself, so if you have any questions now during the live, feel free to pop them in the chat, and if I don't see them, or if I don't get to it, or you watch the replay, I get to them later. So you might not know what is a quail egg, right? I'm a quail farmer, right? And you might not have heard about quail eggs, and if you did, maybe you'll learn some new stuff today. So let me show you. That's a quail egg. Comparison to a chicken egg, I have brought one there in the back. So we got here standard white chicken egg, and this is a standard quail egg. So you see already what's the difference. The size. However, the quail eggs are very nutrient dense, so they have a lot of stuff in there. So they a little bit outsmart the egg here. And if you ever wondered what came first, the chicken or the egg, let me tell you, it was the quail egg, because we domesticated quail about 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, and only about 1,000 years later we figured out we can do the same with chicken. So what was first? The quail egg was first. And since we had this year quite a eggflation going on because of what's happening to chicken eggs, I want to talk to you a little bit about the quail eggs. We didn't see the same effects in regards to prices there, so they stay pretty stable in regards to the pricing. However, we see a lot of demand right now, especially now coming up with Easter. Speaking of Easter, I'm gonna show you some Easter specials as well, and I have a little game with you planned today as well. I started that last Friday, and we're gonna do it this time again. So at the end of the show, I'm gonna reveal how many bunnies are hiding here in my little scene, and this time I make sure that you're gonna see them all. Some are hidden, so but you get to see them all during the live stream, and if you have the correct count later, we're gonna find out. The quail egg. So it's a fresh little gem. We sell them as a dozen. We have cute little cartons. They come in all kind of colors and shapes. We have some with, it's all made with recycled paper. They come in different colors, the cartons, and the eggs, of course, get proper packed for shipping. I just have this carton here because that's, again, my breakfast eggs for tomorrow morning. If you're planning a great nutrient full breakfast for next week, and you're shopping now for your weekend, for your week's grocery, think about those quail eggs. They come fresh from our farms here in the US. Undique is a network of family farms in the US, and we are in 10 different states right now. I show you guys later the map. And so we bring those lovely things to you. Now, what is in a quail egg, right? So let's get started. We have about 14%. Oh, sorry, I was wrong there. 14 calories in a quail egg, not 14%. 14 calories, and I have it there for you. You can read it there too. And actually, if you click on the product, you get a bit more information on that as well. Also on who we are here at Undique, and a link to our Amazon store there. So the 14 calories approximately, nature does its thing, and the quail I'm gonna show you, they come sometimes up with a bit different sizing. There's it's quite interesting what nature gives us to work with here. There's about 1 gram is fat, but also it's about 1 gram of protein. So it's a lot of protein in those quail eggs. We got vitamin A in there, 5% of your daily value in one single quail egg. Vitamin B12, 10%. We have riboflavin, 10%. Folate, 5%. Selenium, 10%. So there's a lot of vitamins and minerals. And if you have breakfast and have, I don't know, a dozen of eggs, that's a lot. I usually have like 8 myself, but Everybody has different kind of appetite, but all the good things in the quail egg give you a great start into the week, right? For example, the vitamin B12 is known to maintain the energy levels. You know, I was working mostly on the farm today, and I'm still pretty active. It helps when you have a good little snack. I like to hard boil them sometimes, and just have them a snack in between or on the go. Or of course, quail eggs, they taste exactly the same than the Big Brother. Big Brother is watching here in the back because it's not in the front light, and I'm kind of zooming out here of the of the setup here as well. Hang in there with me. So yeah, Big Brother is a little bit jealous about that little brother here, because it's just full with nutrition, right? The cool thing about the quail eggs is how they come with all the speckles, right? Let's zoom in on that a little bit. Chickens, stay over there. You might be breakfast too tomorrow, but the speckles. Let me show you some variations. So it's kind of a little bit like a fingerprint, but every egg is unique. But some hens tend to kind of lay the same pattern over and over again. So there is quail who sometimes run out of ink as well. I have one here. The quail kind of was running out of ink. Got a little speckle there, tiny little brown speckle kind of ish. So yeah, that goes in another product. It's not pretty to ship to you guys, so don't worry about that. That goes to the side, and I'll show you later in what product we're gonna use that. I mean, it's still great. It just doesn't look that great. But anyway, so they all have different kind of speckles, and I have a whole bunch here behind me. Let me show you a little variation here without dropping it. Otherwise, I have scrambled eggs again. So you see, every egg is unique. It's pretty cool, and there's even some blue one in there. I get to them in a minute as well. Well, you guys wait over there because that's part of the shipments tomorrow. And so all the good stuff in quail, right? Iron is in there. I remember when I was a child, I was iron deficient, and I had to take medication, and there were supplements for that. Last health check I had, there was definitely no iron deficiency there. So I say that's probably because I have the daily quail eggs, right? There's antioxidants in there. That's great for the skin. It helps. There's lysine in there, and some minerals and stuff I can't even pronounce, honestly. It's a lot of nature and good stuff in the quail eggs for you. Now the shell of the quail egg, I have here a little double yolker, so there's two yolks in there. The shell is a little harder, right, than a chicken egg, which makes it great for us for shipping, because they're not as delicate as the chicken eggs. But if you want to crack them at home, you need a nifty tool, and that's our quail egg scissors. They come in green, but I'm in front of a green screen, so just imagine it's green. When you click below on the product, you will see it's green. We sell them in packs of 3, and it goes just on top of the quail egg like so with the hole, and then you cut it open like a scissor. Just do not put your finger in there; it might hurt you. Yeah, I get stuck there. So you crack open a few depending how hungry you are in the morning. That's the cool thing. If you only want to have 6 of them, that's like 1.5 chicken eggs, right? So you can really dose it nice. I know people eat raw eggs since there's a lot of protein in there. Quail, it's proven because of the higher body temperature and some other factors that they are less likely to have salmonella, for example. We keep them very clean, in very clean cages and things like that. So the eggs themselves, they barely have contact with what you would normally also see popping out of a bird, right? Like poop. So you get clean eggs from us, and you prepare them simply with that cutter, cut it open, and that's about it. Very straightforward. To have half-boiled eggs, it was tricky, because chicken eggs, you can do them soft-boiled, right? And I wanted to do that with quail eggs too, and there were no quail egg holders on the market. So I made some. This is a mini holder on itself, and now for Easter special edition, we got the Easter bunnies. So don't forget to count this one if you're into counting game here in the back. That Easter bunny holds comfortable a quail egg like that. You could have it as decoration. If it's a little bigger, the egg, you might have issues to close it fully. But if you already cut it open in the kitchen to see if it's half boiled, it only takes 2-3 minutes to half boil a quail egg. You could kind of keep it on top to serve it. And if I find my little spoonie, which is over here, tiny cooking is a trend nowadays. You could then spoon it out. You might need a couple, they always, depending on the size of your chicken egg and quail egg, there's the ratio, like you might need 3 or 4 quail eggs instead of 1 chicken egg. Pretty straightforward. But it's also a cute little thing in here. I had my neighbor kids painting one. Yep, great artwork. That's the top here. And I tried myself. Of course, I have to try my own products, right? And this product is made in the US. It's US material I bought here, and it's made here. It's 3D printed, but it looks cool. Well, this was one I screwed up a little. But you get the nice ones. They come in a pack of 2. And your kids can paint on them. Isn't that cute? Just a little Sharpie or whatever. And there you go. You have great artwork coming on. So that's a little package we got here. Can you see that here? Yep, that's the little package. And I'm knocking over all the little bunnies here. We should be able to count them. So here we go. Great product. The holders for the quail eggs. It's hard to find them. If you're in the quail business, you know it's sometimes tough to find quail things. But here at Undique, you find everything around quail. Now, I showed you earlier on that egg, which is not the prettiest, right? I mean, now the hand made all this effort, and it's still inside good. It just doesn't look great, right? So we use that as well, and we make something for our 4-legged friends. If you have watched the stream before, you know that our chief treat tester, Hazel, she's our Labradoodle, and in our weekly news, I show that we celebrated her birthday this week. But Hazel, she loves quail eggs too. She usually gets a fresh one. But when we are on the go, when we go camping, other things like that, and we need to have a use for those eggs. It would be a pity to throw them out just because they're not that pretty, right? So we freeze dry them on our farms here in the US, and there's an entire carton of quail eggs in here, right? So an entire carton goes into the shaker. And the shaker comes now with one of our top-selling products, which is a cat or dog toy, the wing on the string. So you can get that in a bundle, a little cheaper than if you buy it separately. If you want both, you can also get just the shaker in our store. And so all the good nutrition about quail eggs is in there, right? All the minerals, all the vitamins, shelf stable, and your pet likes that on top of the normal food. Hazel, when she was 2 years old, she had a period where she suddenly was not so interested in her normal food. We came up with the product. We sprinkle a little bit on top, and she loves it. So great pet product we have there for you. If you have any questions, just drop it in the comments there. So now, what else we do with quail or with quail eggs? Quail have a very happy life on our farm. But as any farm animal, right, there is a certain lifespan to it. In nature, quail do not get that old because there's a lot of predators out there, right? Your hawk, your eagle, your fox, all those predators are after the quail in the wild. And on the farm, once they reach a certain age, we want to make sure they have a happy life at just one bad day, but then they make your pets happy as well. And one of the products we make out of quail is, as we call it, pet cotton candy. Why we call it cotton candy? Take a guess. I mean, it's so fluffy. There's no sugar obviously in there. It's just nature. It's dehydrated quail meat, and that's it. There's no additives, no coloring. This is the natural color. We do have a version which is a bit pink, where we use beetroot juice to make it pink. But this is the natural yellow color. It's fluffy, and that's great because my sister-in-law, she has some older cats, and I gave her one of our other products, which was just too hard for the cat to chew because it was older. This is a nice little food topper here. You sprinkle that on top of your pet's food, or you can give it like that as a treat, and it's really soft. Of course, as always, serve some fresh water with the food for your pets, right? And it's great for older pets, dogs, cats, ferrets, any carnivore animal loves the nutrient-dense meat of quail. And I don't know if you have ever tried quail to eat it. It is a little gamier than chicken, so that's the difference then if it comes to the meat. So if you open that, smell it, you smell poor nature, but it's not smelling like what your standard chicken made treats are. Quail is definitely has a distinctive flavor to it. Your pet will go nuts for it. So, nice product here. But let's start at the beginning. We already know what came first, the quail or the chicken, right? But let's talk about where the quail came from. Quail are actually native to many countries and continents, right? We focus here mainly on the Coturnix quail here on our quail farms. But there's other variations, the button quail, the California quail, which is native to California, as the name says. There's the Georgia giant quail. We have some hatching eggs of those now in the store as well from a great farm over in Texas in our network. And so everything started here on the farm with the hatching eggs. And that's my favorite picture. Has been copied many times. Please do not copy our pictures. They are copyrighted. However, that's the first one which hatched at 21st of January 2020. Yeah, I remember that date because we did set them around New Year's, and then quail hatch between depending if you use professional grade incubators or some styrofoam incubators, anything between day 16 to day 21 goes there. There's a lot of factors to it. It's nature when you incubate eggs. And let's talk about what is incubating eggs, right? So in nature, you have the quail hen. She lays a couple of eggs, then she gets broody, and then she sits on the eggs and incubates them, meaning she maintains a temperature and a certain humidity, and then after 18 days, those eggs become little chicks, right? And that's very cute. If you do that with your kids, we have a lot of teachers out there who do that in the classroom. It's a great educational experience too, right? Where do the birdies come from? From the egg, right? So we provide fresh eggs or we provide fertile eggs. What's the difference? Fresh eggs are eggs from a flock of birds where there's only females, right? And the fertile eggs, that's from a flock of birds where there is roosters with the females. That makes the eggs fertile. That means when you incubate those, you're gonna get chicks. If you don't incubate them and just eat them, that's fine too, because there's no chick in there unless you start the actual process of incubation. And nowadays we pop that in an incubator, a little machine that holds the temperature, the humidity, and you're gonna have then the surprise of chicks hatching. Why do I mention it? This year everybody got quite a sticker shock when you go grocery shopping and you see the prices for eggs in the supermarket, right? So that's why you come here to us on Amazon. If you're thinking about it, I don't want to be limited again by a local store how many eggs I can buy, number one. I don't want to, pay crazy prices, right? I'd rather buy a bag of food and feed my quail in my backyard, in my garage, in a shed you might have. You need to have nice housing for them, right? And I'll show you an example as well, what we use. But there's so many different ways of how you can do it. And I'm not saying one way is better than another. It's a really great thing if you think about being more self-sustainable, if you don't want to rely on the supermarket when, I don't know, the next hurricane comes through and everybody goes crazy and goes and buys eggs and stuff in the supermarket last minute, the shelves are empty. Your quail are safe in your garage and you go out there every day, you feed them, they have fresh water, and you pick up the eggs. Sure, you have to scoop some poop, that comes with it. But if you have a garden, that's free fertilizer, right? and for your neighbors too, believe me, depending on how many quail you want to keep, right? So if you get a carton of 12 from us, on shipped eggs, people say the hatch rate, if you have a great hatch rate, it's anything above 50 is a great hatch rate for shipped eggs. We test them on the fertility rate by hatching ourselves. So you can imagine this year is absolutely madness. Everybody wants to get uh, hatching eggs. Everybody wants to get quail for their backyard. Everybody wants to have their own eggs. And so we hatch every week on our farm. There is new chicks popping out. And of course, for some of the other products we make. So we know those eggs are fertile. We know exactly how our hatch rates are. In a shipment, we send you a hatch report card as well. So there you can fill in some values. When did you set them? How many did you set? And there's a link then, and you can report how your hatch turned out, and we show that on a map. And this way we also know how our shipped eggs are doing, right? Through shipping, the eggs have a little stress, and so the hatch rate cannot be 100%. Therefore, we also don't give a hatch rate guarantee, because otherwise we would have to price the eggs much higher if we have to ship twice, right? We do have a product here on Amazon where we offer that. It was not bought a single time, because nobody wants to pay so much if you have to calculate in a second time shipping. If your first eggs, something went wrong with your incubator, if you're new, I don't know, the kids opened it too many. We had all kinds of scenarios. The cat knocking off the incubator off the table. Sorry, in that case, we cannot replace the eggs for free. You have to make sure you place your machine, the incubator, in a safe space, right? But you get usually a pretty good hatch rate out of them. So depending on how many quail you want to keep, this is the amount of eggs you're gonna factor in, which you're gonna order from us. You can get a dozen, up to 4 dozen, 10 dozen, doesn't matter. We are a network of farms. We can ship them quickly. We have all kinds of variations. So the one below here, that's hen's choice, basically, whatever comes out from the hen. It could be a mix of different colors. If you're into quail already, you probably know much better than I do all the different variations of quail out there, and I can show you some. Let me have a look. One of our farmers, he takes great pictures, so let me show you the different color variation of quail. That's pretty cool as well. So we have a color mix, for example, or you can also get a specific breed of quail as well. There's the English white there in the middle. There is a wild type on the left here, that guy, the white guy. The one in the front here looks a little bit like Italian to me. I'm not an expert. This one here, you tell me what it is by looking at the feathers here. So there is quail which are feather sexable, and there is quail which are not feather sexable. Let's talk about that. If you're a beginner, you want to start with a bird. Let me bring up here the big screen just to give you a bit of an idea. For the lack of having a real bird here in my studio, they are all outside in their cages. This should just symbolize a little bit that you can, what feather sexable means, right? So you see the difference. This one has a red shiny breast here, and this lady here doesn't have it. Like, when I went in school and we had biology, they basically told us, look, in the wild, usually the man is prettier than the woman. If I look in my family, my wife is, of course, prettier than I am, right? But for birds, shiny breast for the rooster, if it's the wild type, the brown Coturnix quail, and the lady, she has little speckles. So that's a feather sexable bird. That means you can tell by looking at it, is it boy or girl. And also, if the rooster goes up and makes a sound, rooster crow, then it's definitely a rooster. And if you keep him on his own in his own compartment somewhere, and there's never an egg, you also know it's a rooster, right? So there's a few ways how to do it also, if you can't tell by the feathers if it's a boy or girl, right? There's something called vent sexing as well. So there's a lot of options. You can read into that or watch some videos on that, right? So those birds are beautiful. Let me show you a few more. So we have here a white again. They're very popular this season as well. There is black quail, there is the Italian, there is ginger, there is red, there is, oh my god, I sound like this guy in Forrest Gump who talks about shrimp, right? What's his name? Yeah, beautiful birds, that's for sure. And they're very reliable in regards to laying eggs. So you get at least 300 eggs a year per quail, per hen, right? Don't call me and tell me I only get 2 eggs and then you have like 6 roosters sitting there and 2 girls, right? That can't help that. Speaking of that though, usually by my experience, I get 50-50. 50% girls, 50% boys, right? There's no way to tell by looking at the egg. I have heard this women's tale folk beliefs out there that you could tell if it's pointy or whatever, if it's a boy or girl. That doesn't work like that. I know that there is certain testing available nowadays for the big farms, especially in the chicken industry. They use that, and there they actually do have machinery and stuff. They can kind of test it at the beginning of the incubation period if it's gonna be a boy or girl, but we don't have that kind of equipment to do things like that. So just calculate that in. Now, before I get another text, I'm gonna mute my phone. Let's do that, right? Should have done that before the stream, but c'est la vie. Okay, here we go. And that gives you a second. If you have any questions today, pop them in the chat because I'm looking at my phone here all the time. In case you guys have questions, anything about the products I'm showing right now, Quail in general, or anything about our farms, or how our week went, right? Our week actually went really cool. Let me show you that while I do that. So I gonna bring up some pictures because I already mentioned it. Hazel's birthday was this week. If you watch the Friday stream, you know that already. You can always watch the replay and skip forward when I'm gonna show you in 5 to 10 minutes some of our new products coming up, right? But Hazel, she likes the Jumbo Wild. The white birds, actually, they are kind of her babies. And she had birthday, so let's take a look. She got a birthday cake. She didn't turn 1, she turns 3, but we only had 1 candle around, so she got a little cupcake there. Isn't she cute? And then that's Hazel and me. Yeah, she definitely loved that cupcake. I tell you that. 3 years now. That was on Tuesday this week. Now, here are some chicks, and let's see if you can spot some jumbo white chicks in here. Let's see.
What's up, guys? That's a lot of baby quail. Aren't they cute?
Now, did you spot the jumbo white in there? Now, yeah, there was no white bird, right? I had once a customer telling me, "You shipped me the wrong birds. There is not a single white bird in there." No, that's not how it works. They change their color. Birds generally they go through something called a molt. That means they lose their feathers and then they grow new ones. And those baby chicks here, let me play it again without volume on. So you see those yellow guys here. This yellow here in the middle, for example. Yeah, they're born yellow. They turn white later. So if you get that in a color mix variation from us or anything like that, you know now why. They just change. Now, what else happened this week? So we had Hazel's birthday. I took this picture here that we put that somewhere with our products as a size comparison. Because people think jumbo eggs, when I say, you know, quail, jumbo, they think like, oh, it must be a huge egg, right? Like this double yolker here, which is compared to a normal quail egg pretty big, right? If you look here, it's nearly twice the size, actually. But that's not how it works. There's different kind of ways out there people do things. There's no real standards, so we We followed one standard of the American Coturnix Breeder Association, which defines jumbo birds, that speaks about the size of the bird rather than the egg, because a lot of people, if they keep quail, they think about using the eggs, but eventually the bird too, and they are more interested in what size the bird will be rather than the size of the eggs. The eggs you get every day, and they come in all shapes and sizes. I showed you not today, but I just that you see that here. That's a fairy egg, or a training egg, I like to call it too. So in this case, that's a new laying hen, and she didn't get the memo on what size the egg should be. Also, she definitely missed the memo about the little speckles, right? Because there she just went full on and made it dark, and that happens, right? So there is no uniform size for eggs. It's a natural product, but there is, for the birds, you can weigh them at a certain age, and you know then if it's gonna be a jumbo bird or if it's a standard quail. That's also important when you have certain cages, because there is jumbo flooring or standard flooring, right? But if you look at this, obviously here the one up on top here, the second from the top, that's a jumbo quail egg. Then we see a normal quail egg. We see a chicken egg here with some cracks a little bit. And oh, sorry, I need to scroll up here a bit. And on the very bottom there you can see half of the duck egg. So in regards to sizes, that's the sizes there are. So if you read jumbo in on our product listings, that speaks to the size of the bird later. For example, the Georgia giant bird, right? We have hatching eggs in our store for those as well. They lay tiny eggs, but it's the biggest bird around. So don't get fooled by the size of the birds. Speaking of birdies, what happened this week as well? I discovered I have this little thingy there hanging on the back porch, and it already started last year, as you can tell here by these white spots, that a wild bird decided to build a nest in there. Normally I keep my working clothes and some other utensils I need to grab quickly. I keep them in there right by the entry door, and it seems like now it's a yearly spot for wild birds to build a little nest in there right below the speaker where I listen to music when I'm on the back porch. But I keep you posted about it. There is no, I don't want to, of course, distract them too much. I want to let them do their thing. They are safe up there from any cats in the neighborhood or so. But if I get to snap some pictures of their eggs, I've seen them last year, tiny little eggs. So spring is coming, guys. Spring is definitely coming. If the wild birds start now soon hatching out their eggs, it's time for us to hatch out the quail eggs too, right? So yeah, what else happened there? Oh yeah, early on, Hazel, she got, of course, a quail egg. So we have a lot of customer who order the fresh quail eggs as well for their pets. So let's see how Hazel liked one of the double yolkers today.
Hazel, look what I cut open for you. That's what Hazel likes on her food. Are we still cooking? Hazel has already dinner time. Oh, look at this golden color. Go ahead, darling.
So that's another cool thing if you think about it. You barely ever get that in the store, a double yolker, because they actually, usually the most store-bought eggs, they get scanned in a machine, and they look if it's everything perfect, and then if they see there's two yolks in there, boom, it goes, something shoots it away and it goes being used somehow else, right? If you have your own birds in your backyard, you're gonna get a double yolker like that, like the one Hazel just had, and it's just cool. There's more yolk in there. In general, the ratio between egg white and egg yellow is bigger on the quail egg compared to the chicken egg. That also explains why it's a bit more nutrient dense, because most nutrients are actually in the yolk rather than in the white. Why is there actually, and I'm not a biology teacher, but if there's any kids watching out there, do not order quail eggs without the permission of your parents. They are non-returnable. It's a fresh product. But yeah, you could ask your teacher as well, why is there actually egg yolk and egg white, right? All I know as a farmer is the egg yolk is actually what then later the chick would eat, uh, yeah, as kind of food, right? Yeah, it's her food, the chick's food, until they hatch and then go around and find their food, right? So that's why the yolk is in there. Good stuff. Now, we have to keep those quail safe, right? And I have shown it here a little bit, those cages, you see them in the background. As I mentioned, there's many ways to do things, but here at Undique, we rely on a product from a company down in Delaware, and they get that made. And here is a little video on how that looks like. We use the hatching time or Chimuka breeding cages. So if you're serious about getting into quail, and if you're like me, having two left hands, you can get these cages, and they come in all variations and sizes, and they are kind of modular. You could have a cage just for like a couple of quail for your backyard, for your garage, or here on the farm we use a 5-tier cage system here, so you can have multiple tiers on top, and it keeps the quail safe. There's nothing which can rust. This one comes with an egg rollout, so the eggs stay clean. It's very easy to take care of. It comes with a watering system, with the poop trays, with all the good stuff. And it is a bit of an investment to start out with, but if you think about it, I had also quail in an aviary, and I do that again during the summer months, but I have more quail during the summer than in the winter. In the winter, I really just don't want to deal with frozen eggs somewhere out there, and predators looking for extra food, so and all that good stuff. So I have these breeding cages. They are awesome. They're easy to build. You need 3 tools to build it: a little hammer, a little clamp, and a power drill, and that's about it. If I can do it, and I'm not the builder here in this family. My wife is better, much better building stuff than I am. I'm the IT guy. I can work with a mouse here, but if you give me tools, stand back. So it's great product, and that's why I give the guys at Hatching Time here always a shout out. Now, quail, they need to eat too, like you and me. And one of the breeders in our network, he came up a while back with a product which we have now in our store, which is called Show Pro. The coloring here with the green screen gets a bit weird. Champions Blend. That's when you actually today I was early on a little local show where they showed little animals and things like that, birds, other stuff. And this is really what makes your rooster stand out or your hen stand out. So that's for chicken, for duck, for game birds, so quail. Gives them extra vitamins and minerals, a lot packed with protein. Comes in a 10-pound bag, so it's bigger than this one. I just don't want to lift heavy bags around here. I do that all day with the quail, so not in the office. But it has it seems to be, and when I checked it, it's still the only product what has cysteine. I pronounce it right, cysteine. That's actually used in hair loss products for men as well, or women. And it's in there, and it helps to have really great feathers. But it's all about you eat what you eat as well. Extra vitamins for your birds. They will thank you. They will go through, any kind of threats from the environment much better than without. Vitamins help us to strive, right? So shout out there to Carrie and his gang producing this great product and shipping it out fresh. Of course, in a warehouse away from the farm. Biosecurity is for us, especially this year, big thing, believe me. Now I want to show you a product we have in store since a while, but especially now as the season really is in full swing here, I want to show you from Owen's Quail, a farm in our network. Eddie, shout out there. He did a great job in organizing for our network and here for our Amazon store Quail egg cartons. Now, we don't use them for shipping, but they are great for you if you're already into quail or planning on getting into quail, to have affordable solution for storage of those quail eggs. And the biggest question we get about those is, can I fit jumbo eggs, yes or no? Let's do the test live on TV. What could go wrong, right? We could only have scrambled eggs right now. Let's find out. So they come in different sizes and packs, and they fit the jumbo. Now, what is a jumbo? We talked about that earlier on. There is no standard out there. It's most people say it's 14 gram. Maybe that's a standard. But it's not like from any official site. And that's okay. We don't need quail eggs regulated that, oh, you know, we need to have a government employee there and measure it. And we don't need that anyway, right? But you need to know what you can fit in those cartons. So I have here, let me zoom you in a bit. I have here a little weight scale, because mostly you go by the weight. I'm putting that on 0, and I have to zoom back here a little. I wait, but I'm sure you take my word for it when I put it on here. So this egg has 16.49 grams, for example. So it's over 14 grams, right? Fits nicely. And the next one here, 15.6. Yeah. Now let's do the test with the jumbo. Should we do the jumbo? Yeah, let's do the jumbo. I mean jumbo. Double yolker. The double yolker test. Oh God. Is it gonna close? That's the question. Let me bring it up here. Let's see. You want to see me here, right? Double yolker. And that's the 16 gram something. 15 gram something. This guy didn't weigh, but let me see. 15.5 grams. Okay. Double yolker, let's see, is 18.7. I don't put it fully in now. It sticks a little out. Double yolker sticks a little out. I have to say that. Can I safely close it? I mean, it's plastic. And with the double yolker in there, it gets tight. But that problem you're gonna have with any kind of carton, right? But the point what I want to, it's still in there. You might have to get a rubber band around it. Actually, I don't have a rubber band right now here. That's okay. It actually stays closed without a rubber band as well, but obviously if you're gonna have all double yolkers, you're gonna have a hard time closing it. And it's not designed for double yolkers. Just saying. Okay, guys, so it's important to know it does fit jumbo eggs. And if I grab a standard quail egg, let me see, I should have one with me. Thankfully, I'm a quail farmer. Do we have a tiny one here? Oh, this is a pretty one. I can barely get it out here. Let me use my little spoon. Come here. And it's a Celadon one. You find Celadon hatching eggs also in our store, by the way. So, Celadon of course fits, right? I mean, unless it's a jumbo Celadon and a double yolker, then it could get a little... But you get the idea. So a standard quail egg definitely fits in here, right? This is a standard one. And the jumbos, you see the size difference? Even the double yolker jumbo here. It fits. So, if you order them and you tell me your jumbos don't fit, yeah, I told you about the double yolker, right? It's gonna be tight with the double yolker. I have to show this one more time. So that's a Celadon with some speckles there, right? Isn't it beautiful? I like it. Now, we got them also from Eddie and his lovely wife Rebecca in the 30 size. I don't have a sample here right now, but just imagine you can fit 30 in there, right? Great product. Get it as long we can keep the price down. This is one of the products which are not made or laid in the US. Pretty much everything else you saw except the scissors. That's 2 products in our store. We couldn't find a provider, manufacturer in the US, so they come from another country. Everything else you saw so far today is made or laid in the United States. So, did I forget anything? Let's see. We talked about that on Friday. So guys, you go back there. Thank you. Okay. No, at this time I usually do a little recap of what we looked at and talk a little bit about our network as well. Let's talk about the network first. I just mentioned Eddie, and we have a lot of great farmers, and I want to highlight them a little bit in regards to where are we, who are we, what do we do. So we come from all walks of life, and we ended up with quail birds, as it goes, right? That's normal. And we are a network, so we are all individual farms, all family run businesses, right? We have farms with a couple of hundred of quail, we have farms with a couple of thousand of quail, but important is that we are close to you, right? So we see here Texas, that's where Eddie is, for example, down Florida, Bonnie, and then Georgia, Mandy, and so on and so on. New York, New Jersey, where I am. And so we are all over the country, and we're going to see more spots popping up here as we speak. And we want to be close to you, right? Think about it. Shipping eggs is already tricky enough. We do a really good job on that. Only about 1%, that means 1 out of 100 orders, we have an issue with breakage. Anything above 20 count eggs is insured anyway. And then, take a picture, let us know. It's very straightforward. So you can use the quail eggs, you can, blow them out. We have sometimes, now before Easter it's tricky, we have that in our store sometimes too, where we already blow them out for you, so you just need to color them, or you get some fresh eggs. That's what we started with. You can get the fresh eggs, poke a little hole on top and bottom, blow the insides out, that's your breakfast, and the rest, wash it out, let it dry, color it, and have great Easter decoration, right? We talked about the quail egg cutters and scissors today. Great product. Simple to use. Comes in a pack of 3. Nice to have. Something I'm happy about because I made it myself is the following product. It's something for the kids, or if you want to gift something to people, is our bunnies. The egg holder bunnies. 3D printed in the US with material from the US, so US made. Even though a European guy had his hands on it, but I'm in New Jersey, it's fine. Isn't it beautiful? So, fits nicely. Extra decoration for your breakfast table, for example. Then I showed you guys what we do, and the quail is end of life, or if the eggs are not fresh enough to ship to you anymore, because we never ship out hatching eggs older than 48 hours, and we never ship out fresh eggs older than 72 hours. Anything above that, we conserve it for future generations. Nah, just kidding. There is an expiration date on it because we have to put one on it, but let's face it, it's freeze dried, right? And once your pet gets hooked on it, you will love it. That your pet loves it. You can control the feed time, right? Your pet knows when you sprinkle that on top, it's dinner time. It's like the Parmesan on your spaghetti. The whole egg food topper for pets, for dogs and cats. And right now we offer it as a bundle with our wing on the string. Most farmers throw those to their pigs. We rescue them from the pigs. There's no meat on them really. So we dehydrate it and put a nice natural string around it. And you can play for hours with your cat, with your dog. Our wings are pretty popular as well for bird dog trainers. And yeah, it's a great toy, natural. There's no plastic on it other than the packaging, so it's resealable. You can put it back in there after playtime, keep it safe. If you play with your cat, if you click on the product below, you're gonna find a video of a cat playing there. One of my friends' cats was model for that, and of course my daughter's cats, they play with that too. Sometimes a feather comes off. It's okay. Just, it could get rough because it's real bird play for your cat there, brings out the natural instinct in your animal again, right? They love it. We looked at the pet cotton candy. I mean, it's premium quail meat. Nothing bad to it. Dehydrated. I can eat it too. A little dry because it's dehydrated. So, as always, keep some fresh water and with your animal or human. but it's not made for human. It's for pets. Don't eat it like me. I just want to demonstrate. You know, I test every single product, even if it's for our pets, because I know how it's made. I have no problem eating it, so it's good. Quail is a little gamier than chicken, that's for sure. So you, as spoken earlier, you will smell it a bit. Good stuff. We talked a long time about the hatching eggs, right? Again, fertility rate, we keep it up there. We hatch ourselves all the time. There's no 100% guarantee for anything in life other than that you pay taxes and you die. So therefore, we don't have a hatch rate guarantee either. But of course, we work with you. We give you advice. You have our contact details on the packaging. We help you if you're new into quail, right? There's a lot of educational material which we provide on our packaging. There's information. There's a free online course where you can learn everything about quail and more. Even how to become a quail business like I do, right? And the farms in our network. So we looked at the jumbo white. They're gonna be sold out by Tuesday, pretty sure. Every week, same thing. Tuesday we are running out of them, so you have to be quick on those. We talked about the breeding cages today. All right, awesome equipment. You saw the video. I'm gonna look back to that first for a second. I think it took me 2 hours to build the approximately to build the 5-tier cage. So for a smaller tier, this is assembled, you know, like 1 tier, you have that together in 15 minutes or so. Yeah, I would say if you're not like me, right? Taking pictures while you do it and talking all day long, and yeah. The Show Pro, great US made product as well. Comes with from local mills here, right? And the photos you see there on the products, they are actually photos from birds who had the Show Pro. Let me switch back to the bigger screen here. Don't want to confuse you. Awesome product. Ships daily as well. Fresh from Alabama. And we talked about Eddie's product, last but not least. And I did prove that they are jumbo. Because people sent me questions. Are they jumbo? Yes, they are jumbo. You can even fit a double yoker in there. And be able to close it. 1, maybe 2 in the middle. Okay? There's not like that you get all double yokers anyway. Let's face it, right? They actually fit and you can close it without, well, without a rubber band. If the double yoker is not too big. Ha! Again, not made for double yokers. That's my breakfast egg. I cracked an egg in the show again. Fine, I need breakfast anyway. So, but the normal jumbos, no breakage. Right? This one, breakfast. Okay. C'est la vie. The egg white. Doesn't harm. Okay. That's that. Then you have your eggs stored away and all good. And they come in 30 count as well. So we have plenty in stock for now. But, you know, towards the end of the season, get them now rather than later. You know that prices might go up. I don't know. But what's happened in the world, I haven't watched the news yet. And honestly, I don't really want to watch them anyway. Maybe you're the same like me. If you want to watch news, watch happy news like our Quail news, right? When can you watch them? Next, we are on again on Friday, 7:30 Eastern, live on Amazon, and also Sunday, 7:30 Eastern. You can watch the replay, of course, and pop your comments in, leave a like and follow, and so you get a notification, bada boom, when I'm back online again. I try to be on time. Sometimes the Quail hold me back. Say, I want a little bit more time with you. No, just kidding. I wish you guys a great start into the week. I hope you enjoyed this edition. And now, before I forget, how many bunnies we had there in the background? And did I really show them all? Or did I make the same mistake on Friday? Let me see. How is the camera angle here? No, you did see them all. Should we count them? Let's count them. Before we say bye, let's count together. Okay, that guy was falling over here, but he used to be somewhere there. Okay, how many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's it. 14 bunnies. So in case you got that right, congrats. If not, hey, count again. We are online again next week, Friday. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I wish you a great start into the week, and I see you. Bye-bye.